Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail berkata keselamatan kanak-kanak di jalan raya menjadi keutamaan kerajaan namun memahami keluhan ibu bapa.
Kita dah buat polisi bahawa kita nak safety anak-anak ni yang paling utama. Sebab kita pun nak negara tua, jadi banyak sangat aksiden.
My name is Amira Balkis binti Muhammad Zaidi. So today I want to talk about the child restraint system. Child restraint system, or also known as the baby safety system, child seats or toddler seats are very common nowadays among the young parents. This is because the young parent nowadays will study first about the safety of the children. The child seats are designed well to protect the children from any injury or deaths from traffic collision. Usually, the child seat will be brought and installed by the parents or the car owner. But nowadays, the car manufacturer can install it immediately on the vehicles before selling it to the customer. The child seat must be used well to give a result of effective use of the child seats. However, the study shows that the regulation regarding these child restraint systems are often not well established in the country. Other than that, in Malaysia, the Minister of Transportation has been issued a statement saying that the child restraint system will be launched on the 1st January 2020. The implementation of the child restraint system was scheduled to launch on 2018, but it was postponed due to the inadequate supply and inadequate stocks. The government also want to ensure that the price of the child seat will be affordable for everyone, so that there is no excuse for the parents to buy and install in their private.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Nurizwan bin Rosli. I will explain about the objective regarding to the child seat policy. Okay, for the first one is to raise the awareness of the importance of child seat policy in reducing the mortality rate of road accident, especially the rate for the baby and also the children. This is because the statistics have shown that most of the road accidents involve the children. Therefore, the main purpose of the government in implement this policy is to raise the awareness among the parents about the safety of their children while driving. With implement this policy, it can decrease the number of deaths among the children during the road accidents. As a parent, this is their responsibility to ensure the safety of their children. Therefore, the government action in establish this policy is the very good one. Okay, the second objective regarding to the child seat policy is to save children from the serious injury or death in the event of the accidents. This is because the many parents do not care about their children's safety while driving. Children's safety is the importance. Having a child seat safety can reduce the risk of the serious injury to the minors in the event of the road accidents. We cannot expect an accident. However, some the individuals drive recklessly in the event of the negligence. So the need to be implemented to ensure that the parents are aware on the importance of their children's safety. The main purpose of this policy is to reduce the risk of the injury to the children.
Thank you. For the next presentations, I will continue regarding to the issue of the child restraint system. In these implementations of the policy child restraint system, they have several issues regarding to the policies. It was due to the certain parties, that is the users and the supplier of that child restraint system itself. Due to the inexpensive and the reliable child safety seat, it was cost around 400 ringgit until 500 ringgit. Therefore, many parents will choose to buy it through the online. When many parents buy it through online, the seller will tend to mark up the price through the online platform. So it was being a problem for the people who have low income to purchase the child restraint system. Mostly, the people was believed that by buying through an online platform, it will save the cost and will get the cheapest price, but it will cause the some parties may take advantage by putting a higher price due to the higher demand of the child restraint system. For the second issue, it was regarding to the child restraint system is the import of the child restraint system was not follow the specific criteria that need by the custom to check before they enter to the market. The specific criteria was need to be fulfilled by the supplier before they can enter the market and sell the CRS to the user. It must have a safety standard permitted in the Malaysian. The standard was set by the United Nations regulations as a child safety measure of approximately of 135 centimeter. Each of the CRS was product will have an orange E-mark sticker with the information such as a product category by weight or height or weight or a head and the approvals of number. In addition, they must have a valid QR label adapter from the mirrors to facilitate the standard CRS technical specifications in the purpose of recording the informations. For the next issue, it was the most important issues in the implementations of the mandatory child safety seats is the user was consist of the large size of the families. We understand that this safety issue cannot be easily to resolve, and the authorities should to emphasize that families at least have a young child or a baby protected by a car safety seats. Some of our research shows that more than 90% of parents interviewing require a compulsory child safety laws, but some needs helps to success the policy of this CRS. There are several numbers of a mechanism that can be implemented to promote to addressing these issues by the use of the CRS system. One of the mechanisms that can be used to settle this issue is regarding to the by use the pass is car seat rental program. It was to able for the people to easy their burden by only use a baby safety rental chairs to reduce the cost. It's better than buying for their family when they have a when they have a lot of children. They have a lot because the parents have a lot of. For the next is challenges in implementing of the child restraint system. Ministry of Transportation had been issued a statement saying the government will require child restraint system, which is the CRS, to be installed in every private car on January 2020. But to implement this policy, they have several and various challenges that need to be handled. Mostly the challenges that happen among the peoples and the users nowadays, people still not aware about the usables of the CRS, even they had been imposed a summon toward those who did not obey toward the implementations of the CRS for the first 6 months. It means that the government will impose a lawsuit that will file against the parents who did not obey toward who fail to use the CRS system at the after the first 6 months of the implementations. These actions will be imposed is to ensure the peoples and the community would be aware of the importance of the using of the CRS for their child's safety. It also to show that there was very important to reduce the incidents that involve the babies. For the next challenges in implementing of the child restraint system is to be used in Malaysia, they must be complied with the standards that was set by the standard of the use CRS. The move is in line with the Malaysian visions to reduce the to reduce the fatalities and the serious injuries among the road users. As a parents who love their child, they need to understand the usage of the CRS, even it is a little burden, but it is to protect their life and their children's life. By following a specific standards that was set by the government, it was due to the difference of the UN regulations. That means the parents can choose whether they want to buy a child restraint approved by the any rules, because it was very important for each parent to choose a correct CRS with the good quality with a reasonable price, and also with a high standard, and can improve their
I
safety.
will explain about the implementation of the child restraint system. The child restraint system regulation in Malaysia becomes obligatory on the 1st January 2020. But the Ministry of Transport said that the enforcement of its use will not start immediately, and the drivers will not be fined for the first 6 months once the decision comes into the effect. It is the mandatory for the children under 13 to be in the standard child restraint system when travelling in the private vehicles. Currently, statistics show that the use of the child restraint system in the private car is very low, and the data of the injuries among the children are very high. As for the low-income country with inadequate problem and unmatched number of vehicles on the roads, the obtaining modest use of 50% to 75% of the child restraint system will require more than a decade. This is because the government need to educate the parents before the regulation becomes successful. Other than that, the government also has issued the subsidies for child seat. This is because the government want to control the price, and it will be affordable for all people to buy the child seats. Moreover, the NGO also need to play their role, such as they need to educate the people to buy the high quality of the child seats, so that child seat will be achieve the maximum of its use. The NGO also need to control their price to help the government, so that everyone can buy the child seat. Besides that, Jabatan Pengangkutan Jalan, or also known as the JPJ, need to constantly make the roadblock. This is important because they will know about the behavior and the pattern of the parents in the Malaysia. With the constant roadblock, the policy will become the important policy, such as seatbelt policy. As we can see nowadays, the violation of the seatbelt policy will be fined up to 500 ringgit. This clearly shows how serious about the mistake of not wearing the seatbelt. Same goes to the child restraint system. The JPJ need always to check the vehicles and normalize this new culture to the parents. That's all from me. Thank you. So I can learn how to love.
My name is Nohazra binti Sardin, and I am from AM2284K. So in today's video, I will be explaining on the definition of digital tax. So in 2020 January 1st, service tax will be charged on any digital services provided by the foreign registered person to any users in Malaysia. This registration for foreign service provider is mandatory when the total value of the service to consumer in Malaysia exceeds 500,000 a year. According to the Royal Malaysian Customs Service Tax Industry Guide, digital services are defined as services to be delivered through the medium of information technology with minimal or no human intervention from service providers. It is also described as digital service from foreign registered companies such as Spotify. Netflix will be experience a price hike that burdens the consumers. Service providers and customers may face double taxation following the introductions of 6% that might lead to cascading effect. According to the report by The Star, a Customs Department spokesperson revealed that at least 126 foreign digital service provider had registered for the tax in Malaysia as of December 2020. And service provider are the ones who are eligible for this taxation. Those foreign digital providers were able to make an early registration starting on the 1st October 2019, which was 2 months before the government enforced this public policy. However, a country with gigantic technology such as United States, United Kingdom, Italy, France, they are all aggressively opposing, and they do not agree with this taxation, digital taxation, because it can cause a lot of money to the consumer, and it is not a good thing to do. And for them, digital providers for digital tax is not good because it will cause a very high cost to the consumers worldwide. Thank you.
Okay, next we talk about the objective regarding to the digital tax. Okay, for the first one is to widen the tax base as attempt by the government. This is because it can grow the tax base in the country. Indirectly, with the implementation of this tax, it can generate the national income while strengthening the country economy. As before, the various tax has been implemented by the government, and it has brought the positive result to the country. As it is an important factor in strengthening the national economy, this implementation of the digital tax is the proactive move by the Malaysian government. Okay, for the second one is to ensure the fair treatment to the local service providers by creating a level playing field for the local and foreign providers of taxable service to the business and consumers in Malaysia. At the same time, the government is aware of the rise in the price and the impact of the double taxation on consumers, especially the internet media users. In this regard, the government has provided some treatment tax to avoid the problems with service providers and users using the double taxation. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, my name is Laila Nabiha binti Muhammad Nur, and I'm going to present regarding the issues of digital tax. Throughout the implementation process of the digital tax and also the introductions of the digital tax by the governments in early 2020, there has been several issues, and one of the major issue is double taxation, because when the consumer need pay for the digital tax, they already pay for another form of tax with the same service provider. For example, there is sales and service tax, where sales and service tax are imposed to the local company as they need to pay to the government amounted 6%. Hence, the price of the service provided will be increased and the consumer will pay for the tax, that 6% of it. Apart from that, there is also withholding tax subjected to 15%, where according to Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia (LHDN), this tax being imposed to the non-residents who acquire or gain income from residents in Malaysia. It is also applied to the local company who make direct transactions, either digitals or non-digitals, with foreign service provider. All of this will causes the price of the service increase, hence resulted to the end consumers, also their end users, to pay for the taxes. This is irrelevant because the consumers already pay for this existence tax and now they need to pay for digital tax with the same service provided. This causes a very major issue as double taxation is against what the wills of the consumer. Hence, immediate actions and full attention need to be taken by the government in order to resolve this issue, because the introductions of digital tax should be clear as they will not cause any double taxations from and redundance with the introduced tax such as SST and also withholding tax. That's it from me. Thank you. My name is Laila Nabiha binti Muhammad Nur, and I'm going to present regarding the challenges in the implementation process of the digital tax, where first and foremost, the first challenge is the loss of local company market. This is because as Malaysia introduced digital tax, it will also indirectly set an example for another country in the regional area or any parts of the world to introduce the same kind of tax that is digital tax. Hence, when Malaysia wants to penetrate or export their services or products to another foreign country, Malaysia needs to pay with the same kind of tax that is digital tax. Moreover, if the currency of those countries are way higher compared to Malaysia ringgit, this will lead to a financial implications to the country, as Malaysia local company needs to pay for a high tax in order to penetrate the foreign market and export their services and products. This will limit the ability of the local companies to widen their service provided to any other country. The next challenge is to gain foreign service company to register and pay for the digital tax in Malaysia, as it needs a strong justification for those foreign service provider to introduce and penetrate the Malaysian market, because Malaysia with a moderate populations and moderate market compared to those countries with high populations and wide market. It is also to this foreign service provider, they do not have to penetrate the Malaysia's market because they can penetrate other foreign market that do not impose any kind of tax, including digital tax. Hence, it requires them strong justifications for them to register and penetrate Malaysian market and to volunteer themselves to pay for the digital tax. This creates a very major challenge to Malaysia in order to figure out the best solutions and approaches in order to gain foreign service provider to register and pay for the digital tax. That's it from me. Thank you, madam.
As for implementation of digital tax, it is through a financial institution that provide credit and debit card payment, where they will collect the digital tax imposed when the user swipes their card, and which will then hand it over to the customs for tax collection. The custom will conduct then a roadshow and information session on the impositions of imported digital services to members of the public and local industries. Other than that, the exclusion of digital tax towards local service providers, distance e-learning service provided online by either local or overseas, and online services such as e-newspaper and reading materials. According to Tay and Partners 2020, implementation of digital tax would help plug the fiscal loophole which has caused Malaysia to forego substantial fiscal revenue from foreign digital services. Take advertising for instance, based on reports, whilst Malaysia overall advertising expenditure market growth from 2015 17.9% to 35.4% in 2019. Approximately 80% share went to Facebook and Google, with approximately RM 1.5 billion to 2.0 billion for advertising income paid by Malaysian advertiser to Facebook and Google's overseas headquarters or subsidiaries. And even less taxes were paid by this company on the income earned by Malaysian. And this has proven that implementing this digital taxation has made a negative impact in increasing economic growth in Malaysia. Countries such as United States, United Kingdom, France, Italy are aggressively opposing and protesting about the imposition of digital tax. So it shows that with imposing digital tax, it will harm the consumers, especially the consumers with low income level, and that will impact their day-to-day basis. Thank you.